I will say though, there's a small part of me, even though I'm a Yankees fan, there's a small part of me that loves to see New York fans suffer and be miserable. I do not feel like New Yorkers are gracious winners, and so to see New Yorkers with their heart broken always gives me a little bit of joy. I can't lie.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, it was tough. It could have been the Mets versus Yankees. That would have been insane.
If by insane you mean insufferable, sure, that would just be too much New York pride. Yes, sir. Another episode of The Fumble. My name is Rodney Ricard. Got my amazing co-host Samaria Terry in the building as well. What's happening with you, sister?
I'm doing good. It's not as cold in Detroit this week, so that's
It's
great.
so cold in the D. You ever heard that song?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've seen the video, and I was like, why she don't look enthused at all?
Oh, man. Well,
She does not look enthused, but shout out to her, though.
Are you
I wonder
enjoying
where she
it? Hold on. Hold your hands up real quick. Go like this. Go like this. Is that an engagement ring? Wait a minute. Did you get
It
engaged?
is. I did.
Hey! Congrats! You was gonna hold that in? You wasn't gonna share that? He made sure he didn't fumble. You see what I did there? What? Yo, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you look uncomfortable. All right, I'm gonna move on because you seem like you don't want to talk about it.
No, we can talk about it. I was completely surprised. I thought that we were going to a dinner with some other coaches and their wives, and my parents were here. His parents were here. It was like I was shooketh.
Man, congratulations. You are getting
Yeah.
engaged. You will be a wife. And I just got dumped. Let's talk about sports.
So the Indianapolis Colts are benching quarterback Anthony Richardson. This appears to stem from the 4th overall draft pick asking to come out of the game for one play Sunday against the Houston Texans because he was tired. Colts head coach Shane Steichen believes 39-year-old Joe Flacco now gives Indianapolis the best chance to win moving forward. Rodney, what did you make of the Colts' decision to bench Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco?
When people say that athletes are soft and sports are getting soft, this is what they're talking about. This is ridiculous level of a lack of mental fortitude in a sport where you need to have some sort of fortitude in order to be successful. At the quarterback position, especially displaying this level of weakness, is, if I can be completely frank, I think bodes extremely poorly for the franchise, for the organization. I can only imagine how his teammates feel about him. You got people who are fighting through broken bones, all kinds of injuries, and you taking a playoff in the critical moment of a critical season because you're tired, my dog. Like, and you're 20, you're not even like an old man. Like, not even Aaron Rodgers, took a playoff because he was tired. Not Tom Brady. Those are 40-year-old men who were playing the same position, playing the same sport as you, and you took yourself out because you're tired. This ain't legendary. He don't want to be a legend. That's just all this means. He ain't that. He ain't that.
I like to play both sides, right? And I can understand that Anthony Richardson's game is a lot different from a Tom Brady or a quarterback that just stays in the pocket, right? He runs a lot like Lamar, but we've never seen Lamar tap out, right?
No quarterback.
Well, right. I've never seen Kyler Murray, who also runs,
Michael Vick.
tap out. Michael Vick. Ooh, Michael Vick. Yeah, I've never seen it before. I do know that he missed most of last season with the shoulder injury, so maybe conditioning is an issue. I'm not really sure. But what I do know is that Shane Steichen and the rest of this coaching staff, even maybe front office, they have not been pleased with the product that Anthony Richardson is putting on the field, right? So if you look at his stats, 958 yards thrown, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His QBR rating, 38.5, is 27th in the NFL. And I feel like when he got injured with the hip earlier this season and Joe Flacco came in, I think they were a little bit more pleased with Flacco, his maturity level. Obviously, he's a veteran, 39 years old. I think that they just needed to find a reason to bench Anthony Richardson. And this was unfortunately the straw that broke the camel's back.
No, ain't unfortunately. Fortunately, you got to see who this man actually was. But we talked about this earlier this year when it came to Bryce Young, right? These young quarterbacks are being thrust into positions that they're not ready for. The quarterback position requires you, in addition to be talented, to be a leader of men. But if you were just gifted, right, just wrapped and handed over the quarterback position of a franchise as a starter without ever learning from somebody who has actually had to go through the fire, you don't really know how valuable this is. I don't think you can fully understand how important this is, and you may have a level of arrogance, and just won't take it as seriously as should be required. I think that the inverse is happening right now. How we're bringing these quarterbacks along, we should have them behind veteran quarterbacks such as Flacco, so they can learn what it means to be a leader. I don't understand if I don't know if he's never had also some PR management. I don't know if he just doesn't have common sense. But
Right.
there's just certain things that you can't say when one, an athlete, and then two, supposed to be the franchise guy. Like this is just it's not in alignment with the championship pedigree and mentality. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and if he was able to have been under a veteran quarterback in his rookie season or even his sophomore season, then like you just mentioned, a lot of these blunders he wouldn't have even had because they would have been able to teach him like, look, okay, you get in a press conference, you're not supposed to say this. You don't say you're tired. Like come up with something else. I don't know. I really do hate it for the kid. But he was drafted fourth overall, which was a shock to a lot of people. And unfortunately, he hasn't lived up to that production on the field.
Yo, keep it real culture is getting people in trouble out here. We gotta stop. We gotta stop being so keep it real centric. All right, learn how to lie again. Make America lie again. That's what. That's what I'm rocking with. You gotta learn how and when to lie, when it is important. Even if you are tired, fam, just say, yo, I needed to check an injury. I wasn't feeling something was feeling off.
Yeah,
I needed to go talk to a
yeah.
trainer and see. Like, you don't say that you're tired in a professional sport in which you are paid millions of dollars to train your body to be able to sustain itself in critical moments. This is not masculine behavior. And this is a very masculine league. You only play one half of the football. You don't even get you like, and sometimes you're handing it off. It's not unacceptable.
Well, you all let us know down in the comments. What did you make of the Colts benching Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco? Was it warranted or should Richardson get another shot? So 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa may now face disciplinary actions after displaying a Make America Great Again hat following San Fran's win over Dallas. According to the NFL rulebook, players are not allowed to wear or display anything related to political activities. They are, however, allowed to discuss politics during press conferences, but when asked about the MAGA hat, Bosa was pretty quiet, saying, quote, "Not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time." Rodney,
What's up?
ready to hear what you got to say.
What's your question?
What you got? I just want to know your reaction. Like, I just feel like if you gonna wear the hat, say what you want to say.
It's weak. It's weak, and we're not allowed. See, this is what I was talking about before, right? The WNBA allows for things of this nature. They allow their players to watch or to wear rather paraphernalia promoting political statements, and the NFL and other leagues do not. So we're not even allowed to talk politics on this show. I can't let
Yeah.
people know where I fall politically on this show. And so I also have to be very mindful and conscientious of how I approach this topic. So if I'm not bull rushing into this and trying to softly land the plane, my apologies. Bosa interrupted a post-game interview, not to congratulate his teammates, right? Not to say, good job, we won. Like normally when players do that to their teammates, they like, pour water on them. It's a celebratory moment because the team has
Yeah.
success. This was a very individualized and selfish moment for Bosa. And it's very weird that he even had the hat. Where was the hat throughout the game, right? So this was pre-planned, which is also extra corny. Like is this like T.O. with the marker in his sock? Where was the hat? You know what I mean? Because he didn't run back to the locker room. So was somebody holding it for him? That also needs to be investigated and discussed. It's premeditated. And I feel like there should have already been a penalty of some sort that had been issued for Bosa. It hasn't happened yet. And I'm waiting to see how the NFL handles this because we know in the past with other athletes, Colin Kaepernick specifically, who also once played for the San Francisco 49ers, there was much to be said about keeping politics out of sports. And, Colin Kaepernick's statement wasn't even about politics. It was about the survival and existence of black people. And he was ostracized. So I'm interested to see when a truly political statement is made of this magnitude, how the NFL handles it.
And by the way, Nick Bosa also either liked a post or tweeted that Kaepernick was a clown for
Yeah.
kneeling. So he's had a lot to say. I think we shouldn't overlook the history with Nick Bosa, right?
Oh
Since
well, we know he's MAGA
2019,
Nick. Yeah.
right? And it's not, and my thing is, I don't have an issue with wherever you lean in this political climate. I don't really
I
care
do.
about that.
I do.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's just like he's very outward with it. And I know some people like to know where people stand. If you're racist, I want to know that you're racist. You know, if you're homophobic, I want to know that. And he has no issue with letting people know where he stands because he likes a lot of tweets. And I think that honestly, was he reprimanded for that back then? Like a lot of the tweets that he was, I can't
No.
remember, but he should have been then.
There's no. What's the penalty for that? I don't think there's any penalty for that. Like letting people know where you stand. I
Well, I mean,
think.
if it's like racist now, it's like, come on, like you
Yeah,
or
but
somebody should
even
have.
like the Chiefs.
If it didn't come from the league, then one of his teammates should have went upside his head. You know what I mean? Like the locker room is majority black. It's like somebody should have been like, nah, dog, like what is this, or checked him on that internally.
Check
That's
them
how
on
I
what
feel.
exactly? Check them on what?
Like, are you racist? Like, what is going on? Like, you liking all this stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
I don't know locker room culture, but I feel like if you're a brotherhood, then there really isn't any place for that, unfortunately.
Well, even
Um,
even the Chiefs kicker Bucker, right, when he gave his speech at a college earlier this year and disparaged women and
mhm.
reduced women to housewives and so on, there wasn't any penalty for that. And I don't know, but that was off the field. But there's
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are athletes who have different varying degrees of understanding and political affiliations, and so we do have to create and allow them to have the space to have their affiliations, as they desire. But on the field, wearing paraphernalia that in a very critical moment of time, especially because we are a week out from the election,
mhm.
that's promotion. And on a national broadcast of that magnitude, that's a big deal. That's unpaid marketing and promotion, which there's a lot of money that's invested in these ads. We see him in every single moment of commercial breaks during football games and sporting events, right? And he gave them free promotion. And so he
Yeah,
needs to be fined and taxed in accordance with how much that spot and ad would have cost for any other political campaign. That's how I feel about it. Bosa, like many people, do this cowardice thing where they'll wear a hat and they'll make a gesture, but when it's time to actually have real conversation and dialogue and
right.
substantiate why they are in alignment with these political parties or these statements or any of these things, they run from the conversation, more than likely because they don't have the intellect to actually sit there and have it. I don't believe that Nick Bosa is articulate enough to even be able to let us understand why his position is what his position is. And so I understand him taking the coward's way out and saying, I don't really want to talk about it. Where I'm from, that's flat out. And Nick Bosa is a big, strong white guy who makes phenomenal tackles and one of the best defensive players in the league. But when it comes to the mental game, he's not suited for that warfare. So I think maybe he should keep his politics away from sports. Why don't you shut up and tackle?
I'm just gonna just drop the mic on that. Like,
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel like Nick Bosa should be penalized for wearing the MAGA hat? Or do you feel like he is well within his rights to make a political statement regardless of what the NFL bylaws say? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.
all right, folks, it's that time of the show where we bring on a guest to chop it up with us. And this week we have a powerhouse sports journalist. She's an on air talent for MSG, as well as co founder of Bold and Brilliant Life, a resource based community to support career switchers and multi hyphenates. Please join me in welcoming Bianca Peart to the show. What's up, cousin? Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so happy to have you on here.
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm thrilled to be here with you all. Feels like family. I'm so excited to be here.
And why does it feel like family? Expound.
I mean, Rod, so really what we could put it out there. I've known Rodney for like many, many years back on the East Coast. Now he's
Don't be dating me. Don't be aging me. All right, I'm a
you
young boy.
you,
Okay.
threw, you brought it up. I'm just saying. So we knew each other in the sports world. We actually worked together a few times with the Jordan Brand family. He was hosted with the Wizards. I worked with the Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, we go way back.
A lot of synergy. Beautiful to see you. You look amazing. Hair is fire. The purple,
Yes.
doing it
Yes.
big. Samaria, you look beautiful as
Thank
well. Yeah, I'm surrounded in good company today. Very excited for this conversation. So, kicking things off, okay? You worked for the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Liberty, so you've seen some championships recently. Congratulations to you. But I want to talk about the damn Yankees, okay? Who just lost Game 5, losing the World Series. As someone, I guess, who has some sort of New York love or New York connection, what are your thoughts on their series against the Dodgers?
I mean, didn't they technically win because it used to be the Brooklyn Dodgers? I feel like that's the
Oh,
Hmm.
similarities
that's
they're saying. I feel
that's a
like
good flip.
yeah, like it's a little win, it's a little win, but it's really tough and unfortunate, and it's always rough to see the team win on like your home turf. And it was such a great game. The Yankees, the final game, they were up at like 5-zip, and then all of a sudden the tides had turned, and unfortunately time like careless mistakes happens, and like that's when mistakes should not happen. You should not be missing a fly ball, minor things, and that adds up. So unfortunately it was a tough loss for the Yankees, but I think still a big win in that they haven't been to the World Series since like 2009ish. So
Mhm.
there's a silver lining in it all. So
Yeah, especially when you're making the amount of money that Aaron Judge is making. Just saying.
Well, then you can't be dropping fly balls in the outfield, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it was
yeah.
pretty rough. And he was
Yeah.
kind of quiet. He was kind of quiet the rest of the game or the other games in that series too, unfortunately.
I will say though, there's a small part of me, even though I'm a Yankees fan, there's a small part of me that loves to see New York fans suffer and be miserable. I do not feel like New Yorkers are gracious winners, and so to see New Yorkers with their heart broken always gives me a little bit of joy. I can't lie, even as a Yankees fan.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, it was tough. It could have been the Mets versus Yankees. That would have been insane. A Subway Series, but at the World Series level. But the Dodgers are like, nah, we ain't having that. And
If
then
by insane, if by insane you mean insufferable, sure, that would just be too much New York pride. Too
yes.
much.
So the Dodgers did a double dip. They made the Yankees mad, and now the Mets mad. So like New York is just not feeling it in the baseball scene. So yeah, pretty rough.
Segueing though to the WNBA, I saw that you cover the New York Liberty, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say about the officiating in that
Hmm.
final game. I'm pretty positive that you were there. What did you make of all of that?
Yes, so I was there. I have the joy working with the team, and I'm technically a champion now. So I feel great. I feel great, but it's really rough. And like, I think it just symbolizes the entire series. It went to game 5. Two of the games went into overtime. Four out of the 5 games were scored in 5 or fewer points. So there was a lot of like tedious knick-knack happening. Both coaches called out officiating throughout the entire series. So like at the end of the day, the game is the game, and you got to play. You can't play for the refs. You can't play for the officiating. Can't play for the calls. And like, however it pans out is how it pans out. And the New York Liberty got their W, the first W franchise in first win in their history of the franchise. So big deal, and a big deal for New York City since the Yankees fell short. So
Now,
great about
now, Bianca, now, Bianca, you know good and damn well they were cheating in that game 5. Brianna did not get fouled on that last shot. What she did do was travel. She was on some Flintstone. She took 19 steps before she put the ball down, yabba dabba do, and then they called that fluke foul. The free throw disparity was disgusting. It was like 25-8. What can we? I listen. I get you work for the team, so you got to protect your interests. I understand, but just blink 3 times real hard if you acknowledge seeing some cheating out there. Come on now.
like I said, the game is the game. There's going to be rough calls. I mean, I'm an Eagles
Mhm.
fan, and we've experienced rough
Ooh.
officiating in the Super Bowl. Like this happens in sports. Is the essence of sports. I think that's what makes sports sports. Things happen, and I can't speak on that. The call wasn't called, so I don't know what calls you talking
All
about.
right, so you're not gonna keep it a buck. So then let's talk about the parade. Then, how was? Did you go to the parade? And if so, how was? It's been a long time since New York has seen a championship parade. What was the experience like?
The parade was epic. The first parade, for the first title for New York professional basketball in like 50 plus years. It was
Mm.
epic. It was a vibe. Everyone was out. The weather was perfect. It was great energy. Like, you can't explain it. It was just beautiful. Then went to City Hall. Ellie, the elephant, was doing her thing, gave Mayor Eric Adams her purse so she could do her thing.
Was Eric Adams there?
Yes, at City Hall, front and center, front and center.
That's
So
interesting. Isn't he? Should Eric Adams be at the parade? I don't
he
know
was
if.
he was at the City Hall portion. There was the parade, and then there was the City Hall announcement where they
So
made
was
up.
that by the county jail as well? Was that because
No, you got all types of jokes. Like, I no, it was not there. But Ellie
okay?
made
Did,
him
did he
work.
go? Was did he there? I don't. I just want to know everybody that's under indictment who was present.
Listen. You saw the photos. You know who was there. Adams was there. Ellie gave her her purse, so Eric could put some work, hold the purse while Ellie was doing her thing, showing out for the city. It was a great time. And then there was a night parade at Barclays Center, which was dope. Fat Joe and Remy Ma performed, and it was just a way to like end the celebration. So it was a one heck of a day. And it still doesn't feel real. Like, it's, you still have to pinch me. So it was all dope.
I got more
um,
jokes, but I'm gonna chill out.
Right? Like, you just mad. You mad New York won in some capacity. Now you giving me that energy.
Nah,
he's
it's
projecting.
just.
No.
Well, I appreciate it. We appreciate your time and tapping in with us on the Fumble. We hope to see you back. You bring such a vibrant energy as well as a amazing color scheme and color palette. So this was amazing. It's always good to see you. It's always good to run into you. For over a decade now, we've been crossing paths, and so it's
Yeah.
good to see you still out here in the world flourishing and being high spirited, if nothing else.
It's great to see you all. It's a joy to be on the Fumble. And listen, Ronnie, keep holding people account. I see you. I see you with the energy. Keep the energy. I love it. Laura, I love you
Uh,
because you balance it out. So it's great.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
hope to
you.
be back soon.
we used to be a proper country, Samaria, uh, with real men. We were masters of and had strength for heavy metals. We created art with our hands. We created homes and we made bumpers for cars like Cadillacs. We were craftsmen, and nothing makes it more apparent that those days are long behind us than Dwayne Wade's statue reveal this past week. Now, Wade has defended the statue, and the artist Amri Amrani said, "I couldn't do better than that. I don't think anybody else can do better than that. It is what it is." The statue definitely looks like Lawrence Fishburne or Zordon from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to me. And regardless of the execution, I want to acknowledge the moment was a beautiful one for Wade and his family. Renders such as this do not have to be exact. It's not like a wax museum, but I just thought that there was maybe a different moment that they could have enshrined, perhaps when Dwayne Wade's face was more relaxed. So I just wanted to acknowledge that's our first fumble of the week. Our second fumble of the week is important because I just simply cannot let this go by without also mentioning Bears DB Tyreek Stevenson. We've all seen the video by now of him taunting fans just before tipping the ball to Noah Brown for the game-winning Hail Mary against the Redskins. Football players and especially DBs talk crazy. DBs have to talk themselves up because it is a hard time in the league to play the position. So I'm not going to kill him too bad. But not being completely locked in and focused, basically skipping around before the play is just not winning culture. And he's going to learn because head coach Matt Eberflus has made statements that sound like Stevenson will be benched to start the next game. So those are my two fumbles of the week, Samaria. Which one would you like to talk about first, the statue or Stevenson?
Let's do D Wade because
Okay.
I was when I saw that, I was just prepared to go in on whoever designed and sculpted this bronze statue for him. But then once I found out that like he was involved, heavily involved, then I'm like, is he the type of person where he doesn't want to like stand up and say, "Hey, I don't really like this." Like, because I just feel like with bronze, like you mentioned, like a wax figure. And I think that a lot of people like on the shade room and stuff was like, well, you should do like Madame Toussaint or whatever. It's different when it's wax because you can paint and like you can make sure like the shadows are correct. With bronze, it's all bronze. So if something looks, like it's just, I don't know, like it's just weird and it's so easy to mess up. And maybe like his mouth isn't wide enough or something. I don't know. Like, we'll have to show y'all pictures.
I
But
don't know what the last iteration that he saw was, but that might have been an early version. And they finished the face first, but he was like, "Oh, well, clearly that's not done." And then that was the face he got.
it was just weird all around because I even felt like the moment that they captured, like I feel like there could have been a better moment with maybe like the ball in his hand or something like that. Like it just seemed like I'm just cheering like a fan. Like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it could have been. I want to hear your thoughts on Stevenson, though. I know the
Yes.
NFL
Okay.
is
So
hard.
a dummy. A dummy. Like you gotta sit down. You gotta sit down for a minute. You gotta sit down because, and I know they eating him alive everywhere, in the locker room, on Twitter. Like I wonder how he's feeling right now. But and then I think he was talking trash. Like wasn't he talking trash to a fan before the game? I feel like there's like a clip of him like betting his house or something like that. So he's a trash talker. But that just shows your immaturity. Like the game is on the line, and maybe you thought that y'all had won this game because y'all came back. But until that clock strikes zero, the game is not over. Continue to play. Like everything that you're getting right now, you deserve because you play in the National Football League. Like we were just talking about Anthony Richardson. Like you cannot do that. What?
There is a case to be made that you are being a little contradictory. There is a case to be made that you are being very, very harsh to this
on
athlete,
him,
thereby creating
for up here talking trash.
Thereby creating a level
health.
of mental health and mental anguish. He's obviously going through a moment in time which is very difficult to navigate and manage. You know he's being killed on social media. You know he feels terrible. And yet, we are dumping. I just want to go on record.
When I talked about mental health earlier, that was to Angel Reese, who I did not feel like is going at people during the game. Now, she may go at Angel Reese may be going at other players on the other team, but she's not going at fans. She's not sitting here missing plays because she's drawing with fans. That's what I'm saying.
He didn't miss the play. He was in the play.
He would have been better off not in the play, Rodney. He would have been better off had he stayed over there jarring with the fans.
If we're going to be emotionally accommodating to certain athletes, we just may need to be emotionally accommodating to all. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't know the answers. I ain't got the answers, Sway. I just want us to be mindful and cognizant of the fact that sometimes what we say and the way in which we treat certain athletes is different than what we say and how we treat other athletes. And
that man had been talking trash the whole game.
But that's everyone talks trash. Does it mean that once the game is over and he has this terrible mistake, this scarlet letter, this is gonna be a highlight reel that is played for the rest of his life. Like this is a defining moment for the Commanders franchise. So he will see this forever and always. This is a sore spot for him. And so I just want to be cognizant and gentle with a young man. This is his second year in the league, right? With a young man who's going to have to wear this forever because I'm sure he's going through it. Like, what if this cost him a playoff spot? What if this was the game that, this is the difference between them and the playoffs? That'll sting.
And that's what I'm saying. We're not talking about, when we talk about other athletes and mental health, we're not talking about blunders this big that is a mark on their entire careers.
You called him a dummy.
He was not smart in that. He was not smart. I'm sorry, Mr. Stevenson. But
y'all let us know your thoughts.
I'm sure his mama called him dumb.
Damn, not mama. All right, we gonna wrap this up. Hey, y'all let us know your thoughts in the comment section. One about Dwayne Wade's statue. Do you feel like it was a good looking statue? But of course, also about Tyreek Stevenson. Do you feel like we need to be gentle with him in this moment? Or do you feel like everything is at play right now? We can say any and everything that we feel about his ridiculous moment, taunting fans and tipping the game-winning pass to Noah Brown.
All right, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining us for another great episode of The Fumble. Make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on all of our social media platforms. We deliver the latest in sports every day on our YouTube page with our girl, Jackie Ray, and then every Friday right here at The Fumble with myself, Samaria Terry, and my co-host, Rodney Rakai.
Yeah, that girl a Beyonce. She finna be a wife. Don't get it twisted. Her name is Samaria, finna be wife Terry. What's your new last name gonna be?
Hamilton.
Samaria Hamilton. Wait, are you gonna change your social media handles and everything?
It just happened Friday.
I'm sorry. I'm just so forward thinking. Anyway,
I haven't got that far. But thank
yo,
you.
congratulations again, man. That's beautiful. You deserve. You deserve.
Thanks.
All right, we out of here, man. Peace.